I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I don't like Preme. I don't like Preme in him. But he lived the way he actually projected himself. His lifestyle is consistent.
He was true to it.
He never ratted on nobody. Just like that. You see what I'm saying? And Jimmy's a different kind of guy. He told everybody, He solved the last 10 years of criminal activity in New York City in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I ain't got no friends. I ain't got no friends. Just ops. I hate the kids and they pops. Red dot. In themselves, they don't celebrate cops. They do not. You working with them, then you one of them. A G. You not. If you working with the pigs, you one of them. A G. You not. Me against the world like Pac. Speaking on Pac, I got drama with the nigga that got him shot. Red dot. Who this bitch talking about? Saying I made it hot. Said the young boy sliding down them blocks. Not on my watch. Bitch, I'm a businessman. I get money. I mean a lot. You thought red dot. Me against the world like Pac. They hate a lot. Ain't been the same since the shots. Heard them call me a menace. Thanks a lot. Niggas want my spot. Can't have my spot. Fuck the ops. I hate the kids and they pops. Red dot. In themselves, they don't celebrate cops. They do not. You working with them, then you one of them. A G. You not. If you working with the pigs, you one of them. A G. You not.
Was from a federal prison. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Jimmy.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time.
Jimmy wanted to get something out in the air because 50 lied on him. But 50 said other things about him, and he wasn't so quick to talk about it.
Why you think that he keep putting them lies out there about you? Like what is it? Like what do you think it is?
It don't even matter, right? They tricked me once and got me in prison. They not gonna trick me no more. All he is a bait trap for the police. And I'm not biting. I'm not biting.
Word.
You got paperwork on 50, man? Send that stuff to me, man. Let me see it.
Let Jimmy Henchman tell you I'm a snitch. Let Preme tell you I'm a snitch. Just say it one time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because Jimmy been snitching since 1942. I'm talking Don Julio, nigga. No, I'm telling him check the paperwork. That's all. Check the paperwork.
All right, now
Jimmy, you know that? Jimmy the rat.
Roseman proffers loosened a torrent of incriminating details, including about his role, the identity of his suppliers, and the quantity of cocaine he had purchased from them, the means of communication employed by members of the drug trafficking organization, and his involvement in laundering the drug proceeds. And in quotation, in parentheses, it says, listing Roseman's statements and describing them as inculpating not only himself, but also a wide variety of others. Now, the actual opposition at 7 and 8 is sealed. You're not gonna get that particular document because it actually lists everything he says. And I guess he was smart enough, or his lawyers were smart enough to seal it so you can't see it. That man has a son. His son is in the entertainment business, right? Mm-hmm. He loves his son, right? And his son, I think, is also managing Ice Spice,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has a son who's in the business, but he keeps his son shielded and out the way, especially after the thing that happened with his son. You know what I mean? So he's the type of person who's gonna protect his son, and he's gonna make sure that his son ain't involved in no foolery. Why would he use you and not use his own son?
I wanted to ask you about the origin of your relationship with Kyle, man, Supreme McGriff's son, and how that conversation between you and he came about, because that's what Prince is drawing a narrative that he took offense to, and the reason he started his campaign against you.
Well, let's go to the origin of it. Was that he did a post one day and he threw my son in the mix, saying that he was not like my son. You're not going to be able to smack him around, and like how he did my son. He was like, yeah, I'm not Jimmy Henchman's son where you're going to smack around. So I called him. I said, bro, you're dealing with a situation that's very serious. I'd appreciate it if you don't put me or my son in the nonsense. And so from there on, he would call me for advice. And I would give him advice out of respect for Preme. You know, he's doing time like I'm doing time, right? And so if you're Preme's son, and that's the same way I would want them to do my son. If he needed some advice about something, you know, I told the little guy to stay off of the internet. But that's his thing. This is his era. So if he needed some advice, I would give him. So after Preme and Prince had put that statement out that they were disbanding him, and they not doing the same thing that he's doing, being on the internet, which is crazy because Prince is like the internet clown right now. But
Facts.
they scolded the little guy, Kyle, for doing that, right? So Kyle wanted to post some negative things about his father. And I pretty much begged them not to do that. I said, bro, that's still your family. That's your father. Don't do that, man, on the strip. So me and Preme at the time was talking. And I told Preme, I said, bro, I don't want to get involved with you and your son, but I talked them off the ledge of going at you and so on and so forth. And they pretty much was happy I did that. And I was happy I did it because I didn't want to see them air out their baggage. I didn't want them to air out their baggage on the internet, right? So I think Prince kind of took offense maybe to that. But the way he's going hard, this is beyond Kyle. I don't think. But me and Kyle always kept a cool father kind of son, stepfather kind of son relationship, where he'd come to me and ask advice for different things. So when 50 Cent said I had got stabbed up, I said, you know what, I need to address that, because what I don't want these dudes to think is that there's something soft around here, right? That I'm in the penitentiary getting stabbed up and so on and so forth. So I called him particularly to get some people that I can talk to get it out there. And so at that point, he begged me, could he do it? He said, nah, let me do it. I got a big platform, let me do it. And that's how that phone call happened with me and Kyle.
And so it's all love, brother. It's all good, man. Tell your pops I said what's up, and it's all love, all right?
Love. Peace, Jimmy.
All right.
Peace.
I don't know what Jimmy did, and I'm not a street dude. I know him for being in the music business. He made history in New York. There's not a lot of people that was in the streets, did this, was in the music business, and was successful. He was successful in everything he's ever done. Mm-hmm. So that's who I know him for and who I look at him for. Nah. Because there've been rumors about everybody. People make fake paperwork up, people do this, people do that. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that's why I stand on that.
I understand what you're saying, because you know what I didn't do? I have never came to you and said, yo, look at this, look at that, or look at this. The reason why, because you're not a street dude, and I don't want you involved in worrying about things that ain't your business really, right? And I never once tried to assassinate the dude to you. I just said, don't trust this guy's no good, and I left it at that. Now, as a man, you could take it or leave it, right? But one thing you're right about, a lot of people put fake paperwork out, a lot of people say things, but they never have proof. But I ain't never been one of them, right? And so, one day, I'm gonna sit you down, and I'm gonna take you through every last document that this man's name is in. Among the statements Roseman made during the proffer sessions was an account of a drug transaction involving a supplier named Wayne Champagne. The government contends that this narrative about Champagne was untruthful and further offers that Champagne was out of the relevant geographical region on the date Roseman claimed. So what happened was Jimmy Henchman told the government about a crime about this guy named Wayne Champagne. But when the government looked into it, they saw that he was out of the area, so he could not have done business with this guy like he said. Jimmy Henchman is an informant and competent informant. For the most part, though, the information Roseman proffered was not only truthful, but also in some ways helpful. For instance, some of it was later used by the United States Attorney's Office in Los Angeles. See the test, and it tells you, it refers to the testimony on the trial transcript of DEA Special Agent Stephen Miller. Petitioner provided information about drug supplies and unrelated cases, and even about his brother's criminal conduct. He also discussed the 1983 murder of a club owner, eventually admitting his role in it, and the 2010 drug-related murder of an individual named Lowell Fletcher. The government does not dispute that some of Roseman's proffer sessions were truthful, nor is there any disagreement that Roseman had engaged in these repeated proffer sessions specifically to secure a cooperation agreement and avoid trial.
Let Jimmy Henchman tell you I'm a snitch.
Take the paperwork.
All right, now
Jimmy, you know that? Jimmy the rat.
Me and you gonna go through that work.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to see it, do you?
Nah, not really.
I know. You don't change your mind. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyway,
yeah.
Yo, you know, this we good, man. Moving forward, I'm gonna take you through all his documents, his 9 proffer sessions, all the papers, the people who got arrested, the information he provided, all right there. I'm just gonna show it to you, man, so that you know what you're dealing with. Then the choice is yours to make. You can take it to the bank. I got the proof. I can show it. I got lawyers. I can get sealed documents, anything I need to get. He was able to exist in the street for a long time because he was giving information up to the federal government, the Eastern District of New York, and others. It's all right here. So he was able to exist for a long time. And so he was able to make his way into the entertainment business and do the things he did on the backs of people he was sending to the prison.
Gerald Prince Miller, one half of the Supreme team and one of the original names from Southside Queens, has been coming in hot. I can't even front. The man has been standing firm on everything he says since walking free after 34 and a half years in federal prison. He came home and wasted no time, and now Jimmy Henchman is catching serious pressure from every direction. If you're new here or you've been rocking with the channel, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a drop. We gotta jump straight into this because the reason behind all this tension is starting to look real personal. Gerald Prince Miller appears locked in on Jimmy Henchman, and he is not letting up one bit. From what has been shown publicly, Miller seems to believe Jimmy took advantage of his cousin and pulled him deeper into the situation. That cousin is Lil Prince, also known as Lil P2, and this connection looks like the main reason Miller is pressing the issue so hard right now. Kyle, he used him to challenge what was called the 50 Cent lie, but that move backfired in a major way. Everybody knows about the history between G-Unit and Jimmy Henchman, also known as James Roseman, from the Lodi Mack situation. Rest in peace to Lodi Mack. Jimmy Henchman is serving a life sentence connected to a murder-for-hire case involving Lodi Mack, a G-Unit affiliate, after an alleged assault on Henchman's son. His son later became a major figure in music and now manages Ice Spice, so he is making moves in the industry. But Gerald Prince Miller looked at the situation and asked, "Why didn't you use your own family member?" That question hits different because Miller believes somebody else's relative was pulled into a battle that was never his to fight. Now I gotta play this phone call for you. P2, Preme's son, also known as Preme 2, takes a call from Jimmy Henchman, who addresses reports that he was stabbed in prison and pushes back against what he says was a false story from 50 Cent. Listen closely, because this call changes the whole conversation. As you can see, there will always be tension between 50 Cent and Jimmy Henchman. That history runs deep. People lost their lives, and this is not the kind of situation either side forgets. So when 50 speaks on Jimmy, it feels like old wounds and unfinished business are still there.
Good, you good, right? And that joint is a false rumor, right?
False rumor all the way, man. I've been down 15 years and ain't nothing to me, man. And so, and let's make sure that people are clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't never been to no PC. I ain't never been ran up. Nothing ain't never happened to me. No, I ain't never even had an argument since I've been down. So all this stuff about this the second time this liar done put a rumor out there that I got stabbed up, right? I'm fine and well, brother. I'm in population. Ain't nothing wrong with me. It's all love over here, man.
Gerald Prince Miller is now laying out his version of the full story. He says he has documents and details behind his claims, so anyone who wants the complete breakdown can check out The Prince Miller Show and see what he presents. Miller is making it clear that, in his view, Jimmy Henchman cannot be trusted, while explaining why this dispute has suddenly heated up again. And here is where the situation gets even more interesting. James Roseman has a son who is active in the music business and manages Ice Spice, an artist making major moves. Miller's question is simple. If Jimmy wanted this message pushed so badly, why did he not involve his own family member instead? That is the part raising eyebrows, because using his own son could have made the response louder across the industry. Gerald Prince Miller digs deeper into that angle.
Man, and all the people who flying the flag for him that he ain't this and that. You can't fly that flag no more. All you gotta do is read the documents. They speak for this ain't me talking, it's him. Nobody needs to get upset with me for speaking the truth about him. And this whole thing, like I said, started because you used somebody else's family when you could have used your own son to fight your battles with 50 Cent. Sure, 50 Cent lied about you getting hurt in prison.
But I heard the same rumor too,
right.
Way before.
Right, he got that. But you could have had your son do that. You didn't have to use somebody else's family. And that's what this was about.
But I am not going to play his breakdown here. Still, this one detail opens the door to serious questions. You gotta head over there and hear the breakdown because the video runs over an hour. Gerald Prince Miller also claims Jimmy Henchman spoke about other people during his proffer sessions, and that allegation is part of what he is presenting. But before we go deeper, some people may not know what a proffer session really means. A written agreement is usually signed before the meeting, laying out the rules for both sides. The person sitting with federal prosecutors is expected to answer questions truthfully during that conversation. These meetings happen privately, often inside a U.S. attorney's office. The goal is usually to share information while trying to secure a better plea agreement or a lighter sentence. That is why every statement made inside that room still carries serious weight. Now, here is the part people misunderstand. The government may face limits on using the statements from that session directly against the person at trial, depending on the agreement. But that protection is not unlimited, and the information can still create major problems if investigators uncover evidence from what was discussed. Prosecutors may use information from a proffer session to search for new evidence, and that evidence could later be used against the person. That is why sitting down with federal prosecutors while facing charges can be a risky move. One wrong answer can open another door, and lying during the session may destroy the protections in the agreement and lead to additional charges. Gerald Prince Miller breaks down that process and explains why he believes these documents matter. For anyone looking for the full paperwork, head over to The Prince Miller Show. You can sign up, review the material yourself, and see exactly what Prince was reading without sitting through the full hour-long breakdown. But I knew a response was coming because Jimmy Henchman was never going to stay quiet while these claims spread. You gotta understand how serious this could become for somebody serving time inside a high-security federal prison. Rumors about cooperation can carry real consequences behind those walls.
Try to work with the government to try to get around things. So in his mind, he's like, dang, I got one indictment, now I got a superseding indictment. These guys are rolling over on me. I better roll over back on them. So what he did was, he went to the government, and you can read and you can tell, he went to the government and then tried to work his own cooperation agreement and talk about the people who were telling on him. He started telling on them, and then he went further and started giving up other evidence about other people unrelated to the Eastern District of New York, but in California as well. And
which they did use.
Which they did use. And
whether they didn't give him the deal that he was looking for.
He didn't get the deal because...
But they still used the information.
Right.
And that's how dangerous the information, that's how dangerous the proffer sessions can be.
And that's why you don't sit down with the government to do proffer sessions, because...
That's what I wanted the people to understand.
Right. That some of the information that was used, that he gave the government, was used to entrap other people. Exactly. And whatnot. And that is the problem when you sit down and do proffer sessions. I never did any of those myself, ever.
Even when the full story has not been proven. And while prison politics may not work exactly the way they once did, money and connections can still shape how somebody moves. If a person has resources, support, and influence, that can change the pressure around them, but it does not make accusations like these disappear. Some people believe converting to Islam can bring protection inside prison because the Muslim community may look out for its own. At the same time, plenty of inmates are struggling, families fade away, and support gets weaker as the years pass. So people keep asking how Jimmy Henchman is still able to move around the yard without getting caught in the kind of trouble these rumors describe. Then Jimmy calls in and explains why he sat down with the federal government. Listen closely and decide whether his explanation really adds up. Because to me, it sounded like he talked himself into a corner for a second, and that made the whole situation look even more questionable in a major way. Now I gotta ask, do you believe Gerald Prince Miller or do you believe Jimmy Henchman? Drop your answer in the comments because both sides are telling a very different story too. Jimmy says he was trying to protect his money, claiming the government wanted to seize as much as $10 million because he had serious cash sitting around.
They asked me to proffer. And I had no reason, because what they wanted to know, because my case was a money case. It wasn't a drug case. They never found drugs. It was a money case because they had contractors coming in and they were saying that I had gave them $500,000 in cash. I gave them $1 million in cash here. And so they built their case based off of the money that they had witnesses to. And so in that case, my lawyer said, if you don't want them to take all of your property and all of your money, which totaled to somewhere around anywhere from $8 to $10 million, right? That I had to go in and explain to them about the money. So I'm thinking, in the music business, everybody know we collect cash. We collect cash on the road. And when I had Game and I had Mario Winans, we were collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars. And my thing has always been that maybe I'm a tax deceiver, maybe I'm a tax evader, but I'm no big time kingpin drug dealer that y'all trying to make me into, right? So when we went in, and when I went in, and I want to be clear, when I went in, there wasn't no DEA agent in the room. There wasn't no ATS agent in the room. It wasn't those kind of people. It was the prosecutor. It was a tax agent, because they wanted to know about the money. They wanted to understand where this money come from, because everything fell on, was the money legit or not? Because their drug case wouldn't hold up. All these thousands of kilos that Black in LA was saying that I was buying from him, it wouldn't hold up because they never caught no drugs. right? So when I went in with them, that's the only conversations I had with them was about drugs. I mean, was about the money. It had nothing to do with.
You heard what he said, right? He back-talked himself. Hold on, he just back-talked himself. That's a little crazy.
With them was about drugs.
Was he?
I mean, was about the money. It had nothing to do with drugs. And I just want to be clear on that. It wasn't about crimes from the past. It wasn't about crimes that was happening at that moment. It was strictly about my finance and how do I explain all this cash that I have around. And if anybody, again, knows about the music business, they know that cash is one of the things that we always get when we on the road. So, explaining that to y'all, I just want y'all to understand that process of what happened at that point.
But Gerald Prince Miller argues that during those proffer sessions, Jimmy gave federal authorities enough information to help build cases against other people. That is Miller's claim, and the paperwork is what he says backs it up. If you want the full paperwork, head over to The Prince Miller Show. You may need to become a member to access the documents, so show that brother love and review what he presented before choosing a side. I have no personal stake in this situation. I don't make the news, I just break it down. So the question is simple. Who do you believe is telling the truth? Gerald, Prince Miller, or Jimmy Henchman? And does the alleged cooperation even change anything now? Jimmy is already serving life sentences, and he has spent 16 or 17 years behind bars. I do not want to say his life is over, especially if he is still fighting through the courts, but his position is serious. The bigger question is whether Miller releasing these claims and documents could create pressure for Jimmy inside prison. Could these allegations place him in danger, or have prison politics changed so much that people no longer react the same way? Money, connections, and protection can shift the game, but certain labels still carry heavy consequences behind those walls. And what about 50 Cent? Does he see this as a victory after previously claiming Jimmy Henchman had been attacked in prison? Could a story Jimmy called false have opened the door to a bigger conversation about the paperwork and those federal meetings? That is the wild twist everybody is debating. Get down in the comments and tell me how you see this situation. Is Gerald Prince Miller doing the right thing by bringing these records to the public, or is he taking a prison matter too far? Either way, he is putting pressure on several names, and Jimmy Henchman has responded. Subscribe to Dripzine, smash that like button, and turn on your bell notifications so you never miss a video. Jimmy Henchman fires back. The paperwork is under the microscope, and this story just got messier. Salute.